Have you ever looked at a giant hot air balloon floating gracefully across the sky and just wondered, how? Or what about something as simple as a loaf of bread rising in the oven? Well, the answer to both is actually the same, and it's all about the secret life of hot air. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's start with a really simple puzzle you've probably seen yourself. You take a birthday balloon outside on a freezing day, and it just kind of shrivels up. But then, we use these massive flames to make hot air balloons climb into the sky. How can heat make one thing expand and another thing, well, shrink when it's gone? It seems like a total contradiction, but the science behind it is, surprisingly simple.
The whole secret comes down to the tiny, invisible particles of gas inside the balloon. When it's cold, those particles get sluggish. They slow way down. They don't have a lot of energy, so they're not pushing very hard on the inside of the balloon, and that's why it shrinks. But when you warm things up, those same particles get a huge jolt of energy. They start zipping around like crazy, smashing into the balloon's walls and pushing it outwards. That's what makes it expand.
Now, this link between heat and air. It's not some new idea. To really get it, we've got to go back in time. We're talking 18th century France, right at the dawn of the age of flight.
So I want you to meet Jacques Charles. Back in the 1780s, hot air balloons were the absolute cutting-edge technology, and Charles was completely hooked. But he wasn't just interested in riding them. He wanted to know how they worked, so he set up these careful experiments, trapping different gases in a cylinder and heating them up. And what he found was just, wow. Every single gas he tested expanded by the exact same amount for every degree he heated it. It was like a universal law of physics was just hiding there in plain sight.
All right, so what was this amazing rule that Charles uncovered? Let's break down this core relationship between a gas's volume and its temperature.
Okay, picture this. We've got a container of cool gas, and the little particles inside are just kind of meandering around. Now we add heat. This is like giving a shot of espresso to every single particle. Suddenly, they're buzzing with energy, moving frantically and slamming into the walls of the container. These collisions are so powerful they literally push the container's lid upwards, making the whole thing bigger, until the pressure inside evens out with the pressure outside.
So if you're going to remember one thing, make it this simple idea: more heat equals more speed, which equals more space. It's a direct, powerful connection that really explains the whole shebang.
And this brings us to the official name, Charles' Law. Now, the key phrase here is directly proportional. That's just a sciencey way of saying there's a perfect, predictable link. If you double the absolute temperature, you double the volume. Triple one, you triple the other. It's that clean and simple.
And of course, science loves to put things into a neat formula. This is it. V is for volume, and T is for temperature. And don't let the letters fool you. This little equation is incredibly powerful. If you know where a gas starts, its volume and temperature, you can predict exactly what its volume will be at any other temperature. This is the engine behind so many scientific calculations. But wait, there's a catch, and it's a really, really important one. When we use the T for temperature in that formula, you can't just plug in Celsius or Fahrenheit. The math, it just won't work. We need a totally different scale, and here's why.
I mean, just look at the formula again, V divided by T. What happens if your temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, freezing point? You'd be trying to divide by 0. And anyone who remembers their math class knows that's a big no-no. It breaks everything. This tells us that 0 degrees Celsius isn't a true 0. It's just a number we picked for when water freezes. They're still colder than that.
So that got scientists thinking. What is the true 0? What's the coldest anything can possibly get? They calculated it out, and they found it. Negative 273.15 degrees Celsius. They called it absolute zero. It's the point where all particle motion would theoretically just stop. The ultimate cosmic cold. You can't get any colder. So to fix the math problem, scientists got clever. They created a new temperature scale and called it Kelvin. It's really simple. It just takes that absolute 0 point and calls it 0 Kelvin. And because it starts at the true bottom, the Kelvin scale has no negative numbers. That makes it absolutely perfect for the kind of math we need for Charles's law.
Yeah, this table really shows you the difference. 0 on the Celsius scale is just where water freezes. But 0 on the Kelvin scale means something real. It's where everything stops moving. And look at the most important part for our formula. Does it have negative values? Celsius? Yes. Kelvin? No. Does it work for ratios? Celsius? No. Kelvin? Yes. That's why scientists always use it.
Okay. Enough with the theory.
We've got the law, we've got the right temperature scale, so let's check out where this 18th century discovery actually pops up in our world today. And trust me, you see it more often than you think.
Right. First stop, the kitchen. Ever wonder what actually makes a cake so light and fluffy? That's Charles' law. The yeast or baking powder in the dough creates these tiny little bubbles of gas. Then you slide it into a hot oven, that gas heats up, expands like crazy, and pushes the whole thing up and out. That's what gives you that perfect, airy texture.
Here's one you might have run into yourself. You're on a long road trip on a super hot day. The road friction heats up your tires. Well, the air inside heats up too, and it expands, just like Charles' law says it will. This makes the pressure inside your tires go up, and it's why your tire pressure warning light might suddenly come on during a heat wave.
And this one's my favorite, the little pop-up timer in a Thanksgiving turkey. It's not magic, it is pure physics. Inside that little plastic thing is a tiny bit of stuff that turns to gas at just the right temperature. So when your turkey is cooked, the gas inside expands so fast and with so much force that it pops the little red stick up. Dinner is served, all thanks to Charles.
So let's boil it all down. The core idea is simple, right? Temperature goes up, volume goes up, as long as pressure stays the same. The absolute key, if you're doing any math, is to always use the Kelvin scale. And the why behind it all is just that hotter particles move faster and push harder. And as we've seen, this basic rule of physics is happening literally all around us.
Now, Charles' law is amazing, but it relies on one really important condition. The pressure has to stay constant. And that leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? What happens when you let the pressure change too? How do volume, temperature, and pressure all dance together? Well, that's a whole other story for another day.